The other day, I put a video out called, "Are there any racial issues in IT?" Of which I said, of course there are, but normally in the IT world and engineering world, they just want somebody who's willing who can do the work, because there's just not many of us. So many, when I say many of us, I mean there's not many people who can do this stuff we're doing, so are willing to do it. Okay, so somebody asked me, what about black men, particularly? We're not talking about minorities. Everything else, like politicians, looks over black people if they're including black men. What about black men? Okay, he's talking about racial issues for black men in particular. And I said the same thing. That's why I meant what I said. Having done this for 20 years, I can tell you it applies to all of us. Like, you go into an environment where everyone looks a certain way, and ultimately they just want somebody who can do the work. That's it. They just want somebody to do the work. Are there racial issues? I'm sure there are. Have I experienced any? No, I can't point to any one thing except in the military. I can't point to any one thing and say that was, they treated me like this or like that. In fact, most of the organizations I've been to, larger organizations that are very successful, and they're successful because they try to take care of people. And that doesn't matter if you're black, you're white, you're a woman, you're LGBTQ, whatever. They just want to keep people. They just want to retain knowledge. And there's not enough of us to do this work. And so that's why they're even willing to hire people from overseas who can do this work, because there's just not enough of us STEM type people, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Is just not enough of us to do the work. So wherever they can get the talent to do it, even right now, like a couple of the clients that I work for the company I work for, we have clients, and those clients are from all over the world. Like, there's people from China, from India, from South America, it's just a global industry. Like, you can't, if you're going to discriminate, like, basically you're cutting dollars out of your bottom line. And if there's any color that is preferred above another, it's green. It's money. That's the name of the game. It's all about money. So is there racism? Is there sexism? Of course there is. Yes, absolutely. But for the most part, they're looking for somebody who's willing to put in that work to do this kind of stuff that they can't find people to do it. And that's it. So as a black man, to answer your question, as a black man, same thing, everything I said in that video. That's, as having done this 20 years, if you can do the job, they want to retain you. If there's any kind of racial issues with another employer or something, you could take it up with manager. They're going to squash that beef immediately, because they're not trying to lose money. They're not trying to play this racial game to lose dollars. You're gonna price yourself out of the market. You're gonna cut out a whole section of the market because you feel a certain way about Indians or about Koreans or about Chinese people. No, like, you're trying to make that money. So whoever can bring that value as a worker, yes, they're gonna try to keep you. Period. And if you have a problem, they usually, like, especially Fortune 500 companies, 5,000, Fortune 500 companies and Fortune 1,000 companies, these larger organizations, they didn't get that big by staying stagnant. So whenever there's cultural changes, they make that change as fast as possible. It's the ones that are outdated and old are the ones that end up dying slowly, a slow death, where another company that's more dynamic, that doesn't give a damn about race or any of that, or religion or any of that stuff, they just want to get the job done, and then they're willing to even accommodate racial issues and say, listen, we're not here to play games. We're here to, like, they're wanting to be more inclusive, because they're like, look, we got to make money. We're making money together. Let's do it. And that's the kind of company you want to be involved with. If you do happen to be in a company that you feel like there's racial issues, number one, go and talk to your manager. and break it down. Like, listen, this is how I feel about this. What are we going to do about this? If they don't have an answer for you, if this company is not going to respond to your issues, start looking for a job right away. I got plenty of tools that you can use to get a better position at a company that's willing to be sensitive to those topics. So they're always looking for talented people, don't matter what race or gender you are. All right, somebody asked me, they said, okay, I'm going to stick with this racial one. Okay, somebody else said, I work with people darker than you and making hundreds and making hundreds plus and can barely speak or write English. Please, I hope you are not falling for the boogeyman mass outlet. Be humble, work hard, and smart. Okay, this guy didn't even watch my video because I didn't say anything like what he's talking about. So this dude didn't. I'm not gonna respond to that. Let me see. My biggest fear, somebody said, and yeah, being in Western civilization, I definitely get it. Certain industries lend themselves to these very racial practices, but in IT, to be honest with you, perfectly honest with you, they just want people who are willing to do the work. And like I said, if you doubt what I'm saying, consider this. I bet you'll believe this. Many of the people I work with are Indian, and like that guy just said, they have a very thick accent. And the thing is, nobody cares. We just want the job work. We want the stuff to work. We want the network to work. We want the firewall to work. We want the system to have proper networking, proper software engineering, proper So that is what matters. Your race don't matter. If you have to be able to do the work. You got to be able to work hard. Period. That's it. So yeah, that's one of the great things about IT in my opinion.